The initial response to Kevin Costner's epic Western Horizon, An American Saga, is unfavorable for another passion project of his that he plans to direct in 2024 and which, albeit having a different plot, has a very similar history. Critics' reactions to Horizon, the first installment of a massive Western film series, were varied when it made its Cannes Film Festival debut. Normally, this would be hardly noteworthy news, but lovers of the genre might find it a little disappointing. But because Horizon's path to the big screen has been so torturous, people are paying more attention to how it does, particularly in light of any potential crossovers with another impending film. Horizon is a 4-part drama that centers on American expansion and the history of the Western frontier, and is set during the American Civil War. Among the film's most remarkable casts of 2024 is Horizon, which also stars Sienna Miller, Sam Worthington, and Giovanni Ribisi. The film is directed and written by Kevin Costner. Despite its star strength, Horizon has not impressed critics and is expected to do poorly at the box office. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a score of just 38%. This response is not only dismal for Horizon as a whole, but it also portends poorly for future projects, given how the film's scale and personal ambition were rejected. Megalopolis is not happy with Horizon's poor reaction. The unsatisfactory reviews and box office reception of Horizon, which comes from two very different cinematic traditions, are likewise a poor omen for Francis Ford Coppola's eagerly anticipated magnum opus, Megalopolis. In contrast to Horizon, Megalopolis is a strange science fiction work that takes place in a bizarre version of New York City and combines contemporary politics with ancient Roman history to create a single, intricate story. At first glance, there doesn't seem to be much that links it to Costner's quiet, expansive Western. Nevertheless, there is a startling level of similarity between the two films, so much so that one's outcomes may be predicted based on the other. The directors of both Horizon and Megalopolis have willed them into being. For both Costner and Coppola, each picture expresses a highly personal vision that has been in development for decades. They also represent an essentially pure version of the director's idea because they have been mostly funded independently, free from the intervention of big studios. This adds excitement to the films, but it also increases the risk that they will be unduly self-indulgent and too preoccupied with the director's intentions rather than the interests of the viewer. Considering how harshly Horizon has been condemned for these reasons, Megalopolis might make the same mistakes. The histories of Horizon and Megalopolis are remarkably similar. There is more to Horizon and Megalopolis than meets the eye. To demonstrate the tight relationship between Horizon and Megalopolis, Costner and Coppola conducted a joint interview in 2023. Via Deadline, in which they discussed the relationship between their respective works, as well as their common struggles with financing and bringing the projects to fruition. During an extensive conversation, Costner and Coppola stressed their individual dedication to the two films, the difficulties of having to finance the production themselves, and what it means to have the only authorship of the work. "My story will speak loudly to Francis," disclosed Costner, while Coppola clarified, authorship just indicates that the movie stays true to its subject and theme. It cannot be a compilation of what people have determined will make a successful movie formula. It must be genuine and personal. Coppola's remarks and Costner's implicit consent demonstrate how both directors, as well as Horizon and Megalopolis, are extremely private endeavors in which the artist's intention is paramount. It follows that a film's poor box office performance is evidence against Costner and Coppola's contention that individuality and vision are crucial. It appears that Horizon's approach has already been disproved by opponents, which is unfortunate for this ideology. How Horizon could still be beat by Megalopolis. Megalopolis's odds of success can be determined in part by examining Horizon's critical scores, but the film also merits evaluation on its own merits. Significantly, critics have also seen Coppola's science fiction spectacle, so an unbiased evaluation of its merits is imperative. At the time of writing, the film has a somewhat higher Rotten Tomatoes rating of 51%. Even though the histories of the two projects are strikingly similar, this suggests that Megalopolis can perform better with crowds than Horizon, albeit not spectacularly. Unlike Horizon, which has drawn criticism for essentially serving as a protracted preface to the main drama that unfolds in Part 2, Megalopolis is a standalone story that provides its viewers with a satisfying resolution. It's also critical to take Megalopolis's narrative into account. Unlike Horizon, which has drawn criticism for essentially serving as a protracted preface to the main drama that unfolds in Part 2, Megalopolis is a standalone story that provides its viewers with a satisfying resolution. It's possible that this will force more people to watch the movie in cinemas than it would have for Horizon. There's no denying that the shared history and creation story of the two films make comparisons valuable. It's also true that other factors will affect their performance in addition to their similarities.